the Executive Vice President of your Dallas Cowboys. It is Stephen Jones. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Now, I know we're going to get to the game, and I know it was a hard loss. I was going to say it sounds like we're getting some positive news in terms of the medical condition of Leighton Vander Esch. What can you tell us on that front?
Yeah, I mean, I do think so far what we've gotten is positive in terms of, not being re-injuring his prior injury to his neck, which was what the concern was. And it looks like he's avoided that. We're going to have to work with him this week and see, how much time he's going to miss. Probably will still miss some time, but the prognosis right now, albeit early, is that he'll be able to come back and play this year.
A lot of fans and other people have given him kind of a tough time this year for not having a lot of splash plays, but he's been a pretty steady player for this team. How much do you think he was missed on Sunday?
Yeah, I think he was missed. I mean, he's going to, he quarterbacks that defense out there and just does a great job with his consistency. And, it required Damone and Barr had been splitting time, at our other outside backer. And, they had to step up and certainly fill in there and, did a nice job. But I think we certainly missed Leighton.
Same kind of basic question in terms of Jonathan Hankins. I know he hasn't been here a long time, but it seemed like since he got here, the run defense had looked better.
Yeah, no question. I mean, that's why we brought him in here, was to shore up the run. He's obviously one of those big bodies that Dan likes to refer to. But, we still had a good group of guys in there, and you just have to give Jacksonville credit. They had a unique game plan. I think everybody who watched the game saw it. I mean, they were doing a lot of reverses and getting the ball outside quick and getting the ball out quick, but still no excuse. We've got to, as we play through these games here at the end, we've been, at times playing really good, and for basically through three quarters, we, played real well through most of the third, and then, the inconsistency hits. So we've just, if we want to be the team we're going to want to be in the playoffs, then, and as we come down the home stretch here, then, we've got to take those inconsistencies out of our game.
Well, and that is kind of something I'm interested in is I think a San Francisco would look at the game plan the Jaguars had and say, we can execute something like that. And I feel like there are some other teams, Philadelphia for two, that might look at it and say, we can do that against the Cowboys. How do you make those adjustments for the kind of misdirection stuff that they were throwing at you on Sunday?
Well, that's certainly, I have a ton of confidence in Dan Quinn and his staff, and certainly Mike, certainly the way, Mike McCarthy. But, they've been in this league a long time, and they know, as you start to have success as a defense, people are going to look for different ways to attack you. A week before, we saw a different type of attack from Houston when they pulled their practice squad quarterback up and, did a lot of running the football with the quarterback. So, we've got to be prepared for that. People aren't going to let us just continue to do what teams have done, where we've had a tremendous amount of success, on the defensive side of the ball. But I have complete confidence in our defensive staff and know we're going to continue to make the adjustments we need to make.
What did you think about the play of the offensive line yesterday? And did you see the progression that you wanted to from Tyron, that he can be, the full-time starter at right tackle as needed and not have to kind of rotate?
Absolutely. I think it's like anything, got to get in a rhythm. Certainly he's taken that one step further, with his, attempt to move, not his attempt, with his move over to right tackle. But I think he's only going to get better. But I thought he played really well. And I think, as we move forward, he should just, as I said, continue to improve. And, it lets us move the least amount of people. We keep Tyler where he's been, Connor McGovern where he's been. Everybody moves to where they are. And then, of course, it's great to have a guy like Jason Peters and ball behind him if we need some help. But certainly thought they had I thought they did a good job yesterday.
Well, and go back to the defensive side of the ball. There were a couple of plays that Kelvin Joseph just kind of got taken advantage of there, and they go to Nashawn Wright. And I was kind of curious your feelings on how both of them played and what you feel about the cornerback position right now.
Well, I think going in, we've always said the biggest deal with with Kelvin Joseph is consistency, and certainly a little bit of that was the problem yesterday. I think he's, at times can be inconsistent. He hadn't had a lot of time on the job starting as our corner. I think it's a work in progress. And when Nashawn was given the opportunity, obviously he hadn't had many, but stepped up. And, he's a physical long corner. And, we just have to continue to grind out there. You miss AB, but that's part of our game. I mean, he's not going to be back with us this year, and we have to continue to get better as a group over there. Of course, we brought in a corner last week, and just feel like, our personnel department, we always try to do is continue to look for ways to improve ourselves there. But as I said, I have a complete confidence in this defensive staff that they'll make the adjustments. We feel good about the group. I know Dorrance had a knee situation there. Hopefully he's going to be recover from that. Looks like he will, and be ready to go. So, and ultimately Leighton will too. So we just, injuries are part of this game, and we have to respond. And I know our defensive staff will do everything they need to do to, make the adjustments they need to, and put the people, the best players in the right spot for us to win.
I know you had said Leighton still might miss some time. When you just said you think Dorrance will be good to go, is that bigger picture, or like he might be good to go for the Philly game?
I mean, we'll see for sure how that works out. It's we just got in here this morning and working through it all morning long, and we'll just see how the week progresses. It's early to just say for sure who's going to exactly do what, but overall, I would say health-wise, the overall prognosis of the of the game is not something where you look like we're going to miss a guy out for the season.
Talking with Stephen Jones right here on 105.3 The Fan. When we were talking with Kelvin about Kelvin Joseph and Nashawn Wright, I was kind of curious, like twofold, could there be like a competition between them this week? And then with the new rules of practice, is there even time for like a positional competition on a week-by-week basis?
I mean, those are all things that obviously our coaching staff are going to address. We've got some staff meetings this afternoon that will get kept abreast on what the strategy is. But as I said, I mean, we've got complete confidence in Mike and his coordinators, Kellen and Dan and Bones do their work, and have complete confidence in this staff that they're going to put our players in the best position to have success, and that we'll make the adjustments we need to make to get back on our winning track.
Late in the game, I believe it was at the end of the fourth quarter, there was a drive where you pretty much had a chance to seal it if you get a first down. And there were two runs early, and then the big throw downfield. Do you know quite exactly what they were trying to accomplish with that drive and with that throw specifically? Did that change something at the line there? Do you know exactly what happened there?
No, I'm not sure yet, but at the end of the day, anytime calls work, it's brilliant, and every time something doesn't work exactly right, then it gets second guessed. But certainly, when you're in this game and it's down close at the end, then that comes with the territory. I know our coaches know that, know our players know that, but no, I'm not aware if that checked into anything exactly what the call was. I'm sure Mike and Dak and that crew are the right guys to address that.
We talk with you a lot about like competition committee stuff over the years. I was curious, I know this is not exactly competition committee, but what did you think about the report, or what can you tell us about the idea that maybe the NFL would push the trade deadline back a little bit? Would you be in favor of that, and what all goes into that?
Well, I'm certainly not against it. What goes into it is just a full body of work of seeing what the unintended consequences are. I know we all know why, the deadline's there. It's so as you get further into the season, it gets clearer and clearer who's going to be out and who's going to be in, and you worry about people, maybe taking less for players. So you want the competitive situation to stay intact. So the unintended consequences, which is always the key phrase used on the competition committee, will certainly come into effect here as we look into that. But, as we should everything, anything that comes up that is a question mark that we feel like we can make the game better, we'll go into great detail and see what we think is in the best interest of the game as we move forward.
Stephen, this team has now clinched a playoff spot, and this might be a good opportunity to sit back and say, okay, let's refresh and look at what else we can do. What do you want this team to be more of or better at by the time you get to the playoffs?
I think the biggest thing is consistency. I mean, we've all seen this team starting back at the Minnesota game where we played a full game, and then if you take Indy and Houston and then Jacksonville, at times we played at really high levels. And I think it's just playing consistent from start to finish. I think we're cleaning up some things that we wanted to clean up in terms of penalties, in particular pre-snap penalties. I think, we'll always continue to stress that we have to protect the ball on the offensive side, and we need to get, make plays on the ball and create turnovers on the defensive side. But, the bigger thing is just consistency. As I said, through most of the third quarter, we played, really high end at the top of our game in terms of how we were playing. But then we, had the inconsistencies there at the end of the third and, the fourth quarter. Certainly had every opportunity to win the game, but we didn't finish. So I think all those things are things that as we head down the home stretch is just playing consistent through fourth quarters. Obviously, that's something in the NFL that's hard because the other team pays their players. They have good coaches, and you are going to have moments in games where you're challenged. So we have to, figure out how we do even better as to how we work through those challenges. But certainly I know that'll be at the top of, talking to Mike after the game and Dan after the game and Kellen. They want to, certainly bring more consistency, to the games as we move down the home stretch and get ready for the playoffs.
Did you get a chance to kind of celebrate the fact that you're in the playoffs, or you're like, no, that's there's unfinished business?
No, there's a lot of unfinished business, and certainly, coming off a game where you felt like you played well for most of it, and then you end up, not getting the W, then, I think that, is an eye-opener, and we have to, I know our coaching staff and our players will respond in a positive way, and, that'll be, a little fire under everybody's rear end, not that it wasn't, but to continue to press for that consistency.
Just for future reference, if you want to come on the show and say light a fire under their ass, that is perfectly acceptable in this venue. The last thing I got for you, it's another league-wide issue. I'm just hoping you can give me insight is the NFL sent out the memo to all the franchises that in the last 5 years, $800 million has been spent on fired coaches and front office executives. Like, what is the point of a memo like that? Like, what is the message they were trying to get across, or what message did you take from that and the Cowboys take from that?
I just think it's always information. And, as to what's going on around the league, we obviously have a great feel for what goes on with the Dallas Cowboys, but we don't have a great feel for what's going on, other than you do know when a coach gets let go, or his coach and his staff get let go, because we've unfortunately had to do it before, that you end up, having that money sitting out there that you still owe, those coaches. So, I think the bigger message there is just to let everybody know what's going on in our league, and that as a league office, that's their job. Whether it's marketing in terms of sponsorships and tickets, whether it's the business side of what we do as a league, whether it's on the field and coaches and players. I think all that stuff is just educational, and it's part of the role of the NFL.
Well, we appreciate the time, win or lose, very much, good sir. We'll catch up with you next week.
Sounds great, guys. Great being on. Hope you have a happy holiday.
Yeah, absolutely. Same to you.